My name is Jennifer Dorton Styron. I am co-owner of Carolina Mariculture with my husband Jay Styron. We started this aquaculture business in 2007. We are considered a small operation. We have 8.5 acres that we lease from the state. Then we lease the bottom, and then we lease the water column above the bottom so that we can operate an off-bottom oyster aquaculture business. We purchase about 800,000 seed from hatcheries, either in North Carolina or Virginia, sometimes South Carolina, wherever we can source the spat. A juvenile oyster is called a spat. And so we get those, bring them in, put them in our lease, in our cages, and we start growing them out from that point. The joy of oyster aquaculture is that nature feeds them. Typically, oysters do eat algae. They filter algae through the water. They're filter feeders. They are fabulous critters for water quality because they are cleaning the water, right? And so we don't really have to do anything as far as feeding goes, which is a lot different than land-based agriculture. It's about a 5-minute boat ride out to the whole operation, but you'll see it's just marsh around us. You know, a very few houses and mostly marsh. So we don't have the issues of development pressures and other water issues that cause water quality concerns. I work with the Southeast Coastal Ocean Observing Regional Association. This is a group that's funded through NOAA, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. They fund ocean observing activities, and it's a very broad category for anything you can put in the water to better understand the environment. So one of our projects is House the Beach, and it's looking at bacterial water quality, and that project has a spinoff that's looking at estuarine water quality to know when there might be pathogens in the water and to alert people that, you know, you may not want to swim in certain bodies of water just because of pathogens being in the water. So sea level rise is a concern in our state. One of the concerns with that is the sea levels come up. Salt water can penetrate into our groundwater. That's called saltwater intrusion. And the concern is if it penetrates into our groundwater, then that can compromise our drinking water systems and well water. If farmers are sinking wells to be able to irrigate their crops, then they're pulling that salt water in potentially and spraying it on their crops. So saltwater intrusion is a concern for the state, and I think as we see sea levels rise, it will become more of a problem. And I know USDA and some folks at East Carolina University are starting to work on this concern. One thing that is really interesting that we're finding in mariculture, which is just marine aquaculture, is that farm-raised products are a really great product to have in our local restaurants because we're supporting North Carolina seafood. And mariculture products, oysters, can be farmed year-round. Since we're not taking any oysters from our local environments and we're not impacting the native spawning stock, we can sell our products year-round. You know, a lot of folks come to the beach or they move down here and buy property along the coastline, and they want this pristine view and they don't want to see shrimp boats. They don't want to see people working on the water. And this has always been a way of life in coastal North Carolina, especially in the Outer Banks and the Soundside communities. People have always relied on our coastal environments to provide food and income. And so I would like for people to start maybe living a little more symbiotically with the North Carolina traditions in that regard. And we're seeing some of the traditions change. You don't see as many people out tonging oysters anymore because we just don't have as many oysters. So mariculture is a great way to continue producing oysters for North Carolina. You know, people love to eat oysters, so this is a great way to do it.